It looks like we've got quite a few clouds out there now. 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy, Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, friends, and a happy Monday. Good to have you with us today on this April 13th, which means we're getting close to tax day. You better get your ducks in a row and your stuff together quickly. 314-436-7900 to join in by calling and texting today. You can leave voice messages on the Odyssey app. The Odyssey app is also where you go to listen to us live. We have a streaming option. We can also take your voice messages, like I mentioned, and then the podcasts. If you missed the show, you missed an interview, and you really want to go back and listen to it, it's all there for you, or wherever you get your podcasts, you could do that as well. And you can watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, the St. Louis Marathon happened over the weekend, and Amy Marks Kors lost.
I did.
She did. She came in second.
So
she lost.
The good news is the St. Louis police stopped a street takeover before it began.
Larry,
it was supposed to happen in downtown, but they stopped it. That's actually a big deal. Nice work.
Well done. Way to go. Cardinals lost the series to the Red Sox over the weekend, but they are back at it today. Don't you worry. They got the Cleveland Guardians in town tonight. And not so good for the Blues. They were eliminated officially from the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny because they won. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks. And while you're celebrating their victory, they were officially eliminated from the playoffs. So now we can focus on draft picks. And what's interesting, and we'll get to this on the Gas House gang, but the Blues traded Shen to the Islanders, and they traded Justin Falk to Detroit and got some draft picks. Both of those teams also missed the playoffs.
Well, I mean,
so you might get a better draft pick, but also kind of ironic. I'd rather be in the Blues position where you are a seller and you miss the playoffs than be a buyer and miss the playoffs.
You still would rather them not have had the season they did last year and then miss out altogether this year. We felt like a little false hope, I guess, but now it's about building toward next year and beyond. But as I mentioned, the Go St. Louis Marathon happened this weekend, and Amy came in very close. Some other lady was much better than you. No, she was 0.18 seconds better than you?
No, 18 seconds.
18
seconds. So we ran together for 20 miles. We ran together for 20 miles in this race and worked together. And okay, I'll give a little insider because it's funny because you would think that people say, oh, you ran together for 20 miles. Were you racing for 20 miles? Was it competitive in the sense that you're looking over your shoulder? It's not like that. So I knew of Julie Loso Snow because she is a stud runner. She's run in the Olympic marathon trials. She's an absolute stud. She's won Go before. And we knew she would be out there running on Saturday. I ran, my coach ran the race as well. And we knew that there'd be a chance that we might be close to the same pace on Saturday. And as it turned out, we were. So we said, let's work together, because when you're out front, it gets pretty thin. Yeah. It can be pretty lonely, and it's really hard to run a marathon by yourself. But, many feet make the miles go by quickly. So we connected right around mile 4, just after mile 4. And what's funny is we didn't start the race together. We started, we knew we'd be running the same pace. So you're kind of looking around knowing, okay, we're going to run into each other at some point soon. But another woman actually came up to my coach and me at mile 4. And the best way I can describe it is she was like a little too happy and lighthearted. And I say that because this is a tough course. It's a beautiful course, a great showcase of St. Louis, but it is tough, just under 1,000 feet of elevation. So you have massive hills and you're early on. You're at mile 4. You know it's going to be a tough race. And she was a little too talkative and was kind of joking about, oh, I have a tendency to go out too fast. And she said, if I stay with you guys, I'm going to burn up. I'm like, oh, well, we're running, 6:40s now. And she said, oh, I think I want to run.
What does that mean?
6 minute, 40-second miles.
Okay.
And so that's a 2:55 marathon. And we kind of wanted to stay around 6 minute, 50 seconds, at least for the first 20 miles. So we were bouncing around between 6 minute 40 and 6 minute 50 seconds. And she said, oh, I hope I don't go too fast. And then she took off. Like she just took off in front of us. So the lead cyclist goes with her.
Showboating.
And she probably dropped down to about 6:30s. And I thought, ooh, it's early on in this race. And the best way I can describe it is we kind of knew she wasn't going to hold that pace.
Yeah.
So we didn't go with her. We let her go. And then Julie caught up to us around 4 or 5. And we said, hey, Julie, there's a woman ahead of us. We're not too worried about it because I just don't think she's going to hold that pace. And Julie and I worked together. We caught her at mile 14. She started to it was a big
Did you trip
hill.
her?
We did not trip her because
Are you allowed to?
No, but we didn't need to because she froed up.
She puked?
She did. We didn't see it. She was actually so nice because we kind of sat behind her leading up to mile 14 because I didn't want to pass her. I wanted to wait as long as possible to pass her because once we passed her, we were going to drop the pace with the idea of demoralizing her, which sounds so mean, but you're racing. So Julie and I were just waiting behind her. And finally, we made the move to pass her at mile 14:15. And she was so nice. She was like, good job. You guys keep going. It's not my day. And she's like, I threw up. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry.
She yacked?
So then we felt
Did
bad.
you see it? Was it on her clothes?
No.
Did she stop and
No, we didn't
go to
see
the
it.
side?
You would never have known. You would never have known.
How often does it happen
I've
in a
never
marathon?
seen it. I know it happens. I actually think it happens. I think it happens further back in the race. I've run 25 marathons. I've never seen someone.
You've never seen somebody yak.
I think it happens further back.
But don't sometimes people go pee-pee?
Again, I've never seen it. I my experience.
Okay.
Yeah. So at any rate, because
they don't stop. What I'm saying is, I've heard.
They say that, but in the Boston Marathon, when Desi Linden won, the American one, Shalane Flanagan went into the Porta-John. She's a pro.
Shalane Flanagan. Yeah, she does that a lot.
And she went, no, you're such
She's
a
always
doofus.
going into
you're the
the
worst person in the
porta-potty.
world to talk to. And I'm stuck on a show with you every day.
Well, I've heard about this Flanagan.
Yeah. Well, you should.
Her shenanigans.
Her Flanagan
They
shenanigans.
call them Flanagan shenanigans.
They do. At any rate, so Julie and I ran together for about 20 miles through Forest Park. And I will say this, at mile 22:23, she made a move and she started to pull ahead. And I think I was getting pretty gassed because I didn't go with her. And I don't remember thinking I can't go with her. I just remember her pulling ahead. And mile 25, I pulled within 10 seconds. Like, I'm trying to close the gap. But I pulled within 10 seconds at mile 25, which was a huge hill. But my legs were fried and I couldn't do it. And Julie is just an absolute stud. And we turned the corner and I saw them pull the tape out and she crossed the finish line. I lost by 18 seconds. I finished 18 seconds behind her, and just such a smart race. It was fun because they announced it was either the closest or one of the closest finishes in race history.
That's very
because
cool.
when you're up front, when you're running first and second female, they have a lead cyclist, right, in a safety vest, making sure everyone's staying on course.
Watching the pukers.
Yeah. And then they have the radios. So they're radio into the finish line. Our lead females just past mile 15. Our lead females just past mile 20. So as we rounded the corner to finish the race, the announcer said the lead females are coming and it's a battle. This is the closest race. And it was just so exciting to be part of that. And also, the city of St. Louis showed up.
So that's what I was going to ask you,
my
because we have been talking for weeks now. It seems like every time there's an event, even if we don't have enough of them, the city does it pretty well. We had the NCAA tournament here last year. The Frozen Four was here. Missouri Valley Conference tournament is always here. We have a lot of things that happen in the city, and St. Louis, for all of its flaws, does events pretty well.
Oh my gosh, they really do. And I felt like we had a ton of fan support. 26 miles is a long way to try to bring people out to cheer people on in the morning. And Michael Kelly came out.
He did?
He came out in Forest Park.
Attaboy.
So he saw me at mile 18. And he also saw us at mile 20-ish because we did a loop around the park. He'll be joining us at 10 a.m. actually.
Yeah.
And St. Louis put on a great event. There were fans in Soulard and Lafayette Park, and of course downtown and in the Central West End and in Forest Park. Love seeing all the volunteers. I love the fact that high schoolers are waking up at 5 a.m. to hand out water at the water stations. I mean, that might not be the most exciting thing a high schooler can do on a Saturday morning. But
Sounds awful.
But the fact that they do it, because all of those people are volunteers.
Yeah.
All of the course marshals and those working at the water stations. And in case you were wondering, we ran by Ranji's house. He did not even open the window and yell.
No,
He
that
didn't
wasn't going to
even
happen.
open the window and yell. We did.
I thought about it, though.
We ran across the Eads Bridge.
Oh, that's cool.
And apparently, my friend who
What do you run across it and then you immediately come back? How does that work?
I think we went around a cone.
You went around a cone and back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my friend said there was like a train does Eads Bridge have a train?
I think underneath.
Underneath, yes. And she was running the half and she said, was there a train when you ran across the Eads Bridge? And we said, no, absolutely not. And for her, she said, you're running, all of a sudden you feel, ooh, and you start vibrating like your body feels like it's shaking. And she said that was kind of a surreal experience while running across the Eads Bridge. You run around the arch, you're on the arch grounds, which is
Very
really
good.
cool. So you go through a national park. And Nikki Glazer was at the start of the race and gave a pre-race roast of all the runners. Nikki Glazer ran the 5K, but then also roasted the runners.
Congratulations to all of you. Some of you are elite runners. Some of you shouldn't be doing this. Let's give it up for all the runners today. Let's give it up to the families for pretending to care for the past 6 months. This is the last time you have to do that. I am running the 5K today. 5K is also what I wasn't paid to be here. 5K is also what I'll be paying whoever finishes this race and doesn't brag about it to anyone. Good luck with that. I wish you and your nipples the best of luck. Enjoy your run today through St. Louis. Just know if you do make a wrong turn, you will get mugged. You're running 26.2 miles, although I did hear Stan Kroenke has changed and moved the finish line. So be on the lookout for that. If this is your first marathon, truly congratulations. What a huge feat. If this is your 5th marathon, just stop, okay? We get it. Some of you are running away from your problems. Some of you are the problem. Either way, have fun out there today. Congratulations, you guys.
She nailed a lot of that.
That was pretty funny.
She just absolutely nailed half of
On
that.
her Instagram, her post after the race was just a giant trash can, 3 feet tall, overflowing with beer and banana peels.
Is that what you eat? Banana peels on the...
We don't eat banana peels, but there's bananas. So the trash can was overflowing and it was a mountain, probably 3 feet above the lid of the can. And it was water bottles, beer cans, and banana peels. And that was her post, which is pretty funny.
Very good. Well, job well done. Next time, if you...
Try not to lose.
Yeah, try not to lose next time. Good Lord, it's embarrassing,
And
really.
congratulations to Julie Loso Snow. She won this race in her first marathon 25 years ago.
Forget her. Next time, you need to dominate that woman. What's the matter with you?
I can't. She's too good.
Hey, we're going to talk to Daniel Descalso, Cardinals bench coach, former infielder. You know him. He is going to be with us at 9:30 today, as Amy mentioned. Michael Kelly at 10, Matt Pauley at 10:30, and we'll have Andrew Egger with us at 11. Chris and Amy show until 12 on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change changed. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Laterman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Laterman Law Firm at latermanlaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcast. We're back. We're better. Let's get it.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
A few nuts and bolts about what's going on in the city of St. Louis. Ronj, would you
We
like
got
your
screwed?
local update? No, I didn't.
No, not. I mean us. You know, you're chanting at the ref. Nuts and bolts, we got screwed. Never heard that one?
No.
I did that in high school.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we did.
Never heard
Bunch of
that.
losers, but we did it. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite thing, and I've gotten to experience this. Obviously, I don't have kids, but family members have kids and students that I've taught over the years. You go to their games, right? When they play for high school games, whether it's soccer, lacrosse, and field hockey. When you get a group of high school boys together thinking up chants,
They could be clever.
they're pretty clever.
They
I
can
was
be.
laughing out loud at some of the chants that I've heard. They're pretty funny because they're just zany. It's just a
These kids
zany
are out there,
group.
man.
They're out there, which is why I don't know if I told you that, but I went to a college basketball game. The Millennium Hotel, Ronj, you're supposed to get the weeds off those
Off the roof.
off the 28-story Millennium
Still waiting
Hotel.
on those weeds.
Well, you're running out of time.
I know.
Because I know we've talked about them tearing down the Millennium Hotel, but they're actually doing it this spring, which it's spring. So in the upcoming weeks, they will be demolishing the Millennium Hotel, which is kind of interesting because you'll be able to go to Cardinals games and take a picture of yourself with the Millennium Hotel in the background. And then maybe in a month, it won't be there.
How about that? Maybe that's a thing that I need to do just for nostalgia purposes, because I have stayed in that place a bunch of times. I do have a fond memory of it coming down from college for the Missouri Valley tournament. We stayed there a lot, actually. It wasn't the only place we stayed, but I bet 80% of the time we were in that hotel. And so I have a lot of, really good, fond memories of it, but it's been an eyesore for years. Yeah. And it just, maybe it used to anger me more than it should have, but I hated the idea of this prime piece of real estate right in the middle of downtown, right through the center field batter's eye, looking out through Busch Stadium and seeing this hotel that's falling apart. It just, there was no other that I can think of situation in baseball anywhere where there's this old hotel that's falling apart that is in the skyline view of a major league ballpark.
And how big those weeds have to be for you to be able to see them.
I saw them from, not just on TV, I saw them from the stands. Yes. I remember the first time it happened, I was with a friend and I was like, are those weeds coming out of the roof?
Wouldn't that have to be the size of a tree for you to see weeds? Because first of all, the roof is not flush with the edge. So those weeds have to grow up several feet, probably to the edge, or the ledge, I should say. And then for them to be visible above that, those have to be tree-sized weeds.
I think that, didn't somebody tell us that you don't realize how big those weeds actually are?
Because you were going to put them in a pot in your house.
I might have to put them outside.
You're going to have to put them outside.
So I mean, and I'm glad it's the demolition of that building, even though it is sad to me, and I'm sure for many other people who got to eat dinner there, and there used to be a restaurant on the rooftop, and there's some nostalgia in that sense from there, but just because it was being built right at the same time that Busch 2 was being built or had just been built. Yeah, so I mean, it's. It goes back to the mid 60s, and it was for a long time a huge part of our skyline, but it was falling apart. It was right there on the riverfront. And now we've got this new beginning, which does make me very, very happy that something cool is going to go in that spot, which again is prime real estate. It's about as good of a piece of land as you could get downtown.
It is. And so if you have those old John Pills posters, the St. Louis skyline will look different. So keep those keepsake John Pills posters. I will say, I think from now on, every hotel that has a restaurant on the roof, I'm going to call a roof-staurant.
A roof-staurant?
Yeah, I actually think.
Not bad.
You came up with it.
I did.
Yeah, I think
it was an accident.
I think it's pretty good. Hey, I also wanted to give credit where credit's due, because we are seeing the trend of street takeovers and mall takeovers. We talked about the mall takeover in Wisconsin, and then there were street takeovers in Chicago, and they've been struggling with them a lot on did I say it was not Navy Pier?
You did say Navy Pier.
Is there a Navy Yard? Yard?
Well, it would be Navy Pier. That's a tourist attraction.
It was something like that, and they've struggled with it. Well, the St. Louis police said that they stopped a street takeover last night before it could start. According to a police spokesperson, the SLMPD Mobile Reserve Officers and Anti-Crime Task Force, they saw that there was a pre-party at Fountain Park. Is it Fontaine or Fountain Park?
That's a great question.
I actually don't know. That's a St. Louis thing I don't know. I bet our know-it-all texters know. 314.
These know-it-all texters know everything.
436-7900. Is it Fountain or Fountain Park? But they had a pre-party there. And officers, and I don't know how they knew about the pre-party. I don't know if they just saw it at the park. I don't know if there's a way to monitor social media. But the police officers were on it, and they were able to break up the party, stop the impending street takeover. They did confiscate one gun, which was equipped with a switch, which is used to convert a semi-automatic firearm into a fully automatic firearm. The police did not make mentions of arrests, but this is what you have to do. This
Yeah.
is great. Like I said, I don't know the different ways they found out about the pre-party. Maybe they just saw it taking place. But again, every time a street takeover fails, and especially fails before it starts, that has compounded deterrent effect for
Yes.
future street takeovers, because why try if you know you're going to be stopped?
And by the way, you were talking about Navy Yard. There was a
Navy
street
Yard,
there was
yes.
a street takeover in Navy Yard in DC.
That's what I'm
Washington,
thinking of.
DC.
Yes,
So,
because it's so
yeah.
funny because I was going to say DC and then I knew it was Chicago, but they're popping up all over.
It happens
and
all over in Chicago.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and I kind of got mixed up. But good job on the St. Louis Police Force, because again, every time you stop it, that is a deterrent for future ones.
It was really cool on the Cardinals broadcast over the weekend. From the broadcast booth, Ricky Horton interviewed Daniel Descalso in the middle of the game. You've seen this happen on TV a bunch, and looks like something we're going to be doing here throughout the regular season. Those on-field, or I guess in dugout game interviews while the game is going on. We're going to talk to Daniel Descalso, who is the bench coach for the Cardinals, when we come back on KMOX.
All Access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
You're constantly trying to figure out how to get meaningful information through to the player in a way where they can put it into action. If they can shoot holes in your game or in your information or your delivery, you're done. If you come into those and you're 80% prepared and they can shoot holes in your messaging or in your points that you're trying to make, you lose credibility real quick, and you're not gaining that back anytime soon.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Mostly cloudy and 73 degrees in St. Louis. We will get to a high of 84. The record high for this day, by the way, it was 89 degrees back in 1941. Tonight, a low of 69.
Another Haverty's Furniture showroom is opening soon in Fenton and Graboid Bluffs. With over a century of experience, Haverty's Furniture knows the best sofa is the one that fits your style, your space, and your budget. Experience Haverty's regret-free guarantee for yourself. A new location is opening soon in Fenton and Graboid Bluffs. Start browsing now at Havertys.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You voted, we listened. On Friday, April 24th, the Cardinals take on the Seattle Mariners, and Busch Stadium is going dark. That night, you will receive the all-new Cardinals jersey, Dark Mode, presented by Phillips 66. This fan-selected look was brought to life for the ballpark and designed to stand out in the stands. A limited giveaway you can only get at the game. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Victor Scott II. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems. And we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDRURYLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
We are in a scoreless game, top of the fourth inning, the Cardinals and the Red Sox, and we're joined by the Cardinals bench coach, Daniel Descalzo, for the top of the fourth inning. Daniel, good to visit with you. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's funny, as I was giving the signs for the previous pitch, Pedro looked over at me and just laughed because he saw me with the headset on over here.
That's awesome.
How about it? The guy is doing multiple things at once, and that was during the broadcast over the weekend here on KMOX, and you can listen to every Cardinals game on 104.1 FM. Also with the Odyssey app, if you're in town and you download it to your phone, you can listen straight from there. We are joined now by the bench coach for the Cardinals, former infielder, Daniel Descalzo. He is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Daniel. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here. We do want to talk about the team, obviously, and the start you are all off to, but those types of interviews, right in the middle of the game, you're talking about, relaying calls to Pedro Pages behind the plate and also doing an interview. How is that? How do you like doing that?
That's something new for me. They've asked us this year to kind of do some stuff in game, and we're doing some stuff on TV with Jim Hayes. During the game from the dugout, Ricky approached me about doing something on the radio during the game. So it's something to kind of give the viewers a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, of what's going on during the game. And I think next time I may opt for the bottom of the inning, so I don't have to try to control the running game while we're on defense.
Well, I could see doing signs and talking, and I thought it can't be that easy to multitask, to listen to someone asking you questions in a headset while you're trying to watch the running game. Was it as difficult as I imagined?
Well, luckily it was Kyle Leahy on the mound, and Kyle does a really good job of not giving away when he's going to pick off or when he's going to go to the plate, and he's pretty quick to the plate. So if there's one guy to be on the mound while you're doing that, it's probably Kyle. We did run into an issue where there was a play we thought about challenging, and I had to kind of drop the headset and almost tripped over it on my way to the phone. So I think I need a little better strategy next time of my getting from the camera well area to the phone.
The in-game interview thing, I didn't know how I felt about it when broadcasts first started doing it, because my feeling was, let these guys concentrate. They're in the middle of something, especially with the players, the guys who are on the field. But it seems to work out pretty well, and fans like it. Is that making players and coaches warm up to it more?
I think the players still are a little more apprehensive. They are, so locked in on a personal level, maybe on their next at bat, or, what's happened previously or what may happen upcoming in the game. But, for us to take, 30 seconds to a minute with Jim Hayes there in the dugout, or even do an inning of radio broadcast, it's kind of fun just to let the fans know kind of what we're thinking, what we're looking at, and kind of the intricacies that are occurring during the game.
Talking with Daniel Descalzo here on KMOX, and this Cardinals team, you are off to an 8-7 starts. As you look at the whole thing now that we're a couple of weeks into the season, what are your thoughts overall of how the start's been?
I think our start has been as good as we could have expected. Guys are playing with energy, which you like to see from a young group. We're competing. As of a few days ago, we were tops in the league and come from behind victories. So that kind of stat just goes to show that the team competes for 27 outs, no matter if we get down early, The guys, the at-bats were the same. The pitchers were keeping us in it. So it's encouraging to see those results early. And when you do have a young team and you're talking about some, guys getting a chance to play and you have a new front office, maybe some new direction to get guys to have some success early, it kind of helps with that buy-in.
Well, speaking of success early, with Jordan Walker having a heck of a start to this season, how has it been for you, for the clubhouse, seeing him have such a hot start?
It's been a lot of fun to watch, and Jordan has put a lot of work in this off season. During spring training, he had a few days where we took him off of the game field and put him in the cage and the backfield just to work on some mechanical stuff, some approach stuff, and to see. It's always fun when you see a player put in the work and then the work shows up on the field in the games that count. So it's been fun to watch Jordan take his at bats and just hammer pitches all over the ballpark so far.
Yeah, and you say all over the ballpark, and it's accurate. He's not just pulling the ball. He's not going to the opposite field. He's hitting to straightaway center, one of his most recent home runs, straightaway center field. What is it about his approach that allows him to do that, and is that intentional?
Oh, I think Jordan is such a big, strong kid, right? Like he has the unique ability to hit balls out of the ballpark, like all over the park, right field, center field. He can hit him pull side if he needs to. I think for him, he's been able to stay on pitches by knowing that he can drive the ball to right center and that he doesn't have to make his decision quite so quickly. He can hit those hanging breaking balls out to center, left center. So he's just kind of giving himself a margin for error by being able to hammer those pitches all over the yard. And it's been fun to watch him make those adjustments as other teams are trying to find ways to get him out, and they just haven't found any yet this year.
And you know what? His defense has been pretty good too. That arm is really something. And it seems like, have you noticed, or is it just my feeling on this that maybe he's being tested a little less, like the word has gotten out?
I mean, his arm is a weapon out there. Not many guys can throw like that with that velocity and accuracy. And you saw over the first 10 or so games, he threw out a few runners. And there was an example the other night. Somebody on the Red Sox hit a single to right center with a man on first, and the runner rounded second and shut it down when Jordan fielded the ball. So I think people are starting to take notice that, hey, that guy out in right field, he's got a pretty good arm. Just be careful if you want to test him.
Talking with Daniel Descalso here on KMOX, and another guy that Cardinals fans really looking forward to seeing what he can do for a full season is JJ Weatherholt. He's gotten a lot of attention, and I realize he's not the only Cardinal that has had some success to start the season, but people really are paying attention to him. What have you thought of him in this first 2+ weeks?
JJ's been really impressive. We saw him a little bit in camp last spring, and he was impressive then. But just the way he kind of goes about his business, he's the same player every day. You don't see him get too high or too low. He takes a really professional at bat up there. He has a great knowledge of the strike zone, and that's one of the reasons why Ollie didn't hesitate to hit him leadoff in his first big league game. It's something we talked about a little bit. Like hitting leadoff is a little bit of pressure on the young kid, but for someone who controls the strike zone like he does, even when maybe the hits aren't falling for him, you see him getting on base, by walking. He's had quite a few games where he's had multiple walks. So he's a guy that you have at the top of the order. You know he's going to get on base, once or twice for you that game.
What is it that you would like to, and I know that most people are going to say wins. We want to win, want to get to the playoffs. That is always the goal going into a season. But knowing that the Cardinals are in a bit of a transition, the front office is new and a lot of different moving parts right now. What are you looking for as a coach from the beginning of this season until we get to the end of September?
I think for us, we talk about behind the scenes in the coach's room is like, what does a winning player look like, and how do we help these guys become winning players? And sometimes that might not mean you win the game that night, but we talk about winning the day, and whether that's in our early work, our cage work, maybe it's learning from a mistake that happened during the game that night and so that we don't repeat that same mistake over and over. Because baseball is not a game for guys that are perfect and don't make mistakes. It's about you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you don't make that mistake over and over again. So we're looking for these guys to just find ways to learn how to impact the game in a positive way. And if you have enough of those guys that are winning players, and you can build on that, and you have all those guys pulling in the same direction, that's when it can become special down the road, and you start talking about playoffs and playing deep into October.
Again, we're chatting with Daniel Descalzo, St. Louis Cardinals bench coach, of course, former player for the Cardinals. And Daniel, I know the Cardinals either had the youngest or one of the youngest rosters on opening day. Other than just, okay, these are young guys trying to mature as baseball players, what's something we fans might not realize about having such a young roster, the clubhouse, the environment, anything that maybe you don't realize when you have such a young team?
Yeah, I think some of these guys, they're young, they've been around maybe a year or two, and this game can really beat you up sometimes. The longer you play, it can just kind of wear you down, and so we don't really have those guys in our clubhouse. We have guys that are like full of energy, eager to learn and eager to trying to get better every day. I'm not saying that veterans don't do that, but it's a different mindset when you're a young kid trying to figure out how to stay in this game. Like, this game is always trying to replace you. There's always guys coming for your job, and we've got guys that are getting a chance, a real shot to go out there and play every day, and they're just eager to learn and eager to compete and trying to be the best players they can be. So that's refreshing. It's been fun to watch.
And to that end, I mean, there are only, I think 3 guys on the roster right now in their 30s. There's one guy in his mid-30s. The other 2 are in their early 30s. How important is it? Or is it the kind of thing where it just depends on the makeup of the team? But how important is it to have a veteran on the team, established, a guy who's been around for a long time, helping out younger guys? Do we overvalue that, you think?
I think those guys can be very important to a young team. There's a lot to be learned the longer you play in this game, and as a young player, it's nice to have someone to turn to that has been there and done that and been through the ups and downs. But it's also important as a young player to have other young players around you that are maybe going through the same things that you are, someone that you can relate to, someone you can, after the game, talk about baseball and bounce ideas off of. I was really lucky to have guys like John Jay and Alan Craig and David Freese. We all kind of came up at the same time, and we're figuring this out together. And so to have those guys in your corner as well, those peers, the guys that are in the same position that you are, that can be equally as important. They may not have the experience or the wisdom, but they give you that person that's in the same space that you are.
Does it change coaching on the day-to-day when you've got a younger team?
It does. I mean, we talked about it a lot during spring training and leading up to it. You might have to say the same things a few different times, and you might have to keep coaching the details, the fundamentals. You can't take for granted that these guys have been coached on X, Y, and Z. I mean, our minor league guys do a really good job. Our staff in the minor leagues of getting these guys prepared. But sometimes, things fall through the cracks, and we just can't assume that guys have experienced certain situations, certain plays, and we just have to be able to, talk about it every day and not be scared to kind of confront and embrace the fact that these guys are young, and we're going to have to keep coaching them hard every day.
Daniel Descalzo, we appreciate your time today. We're enjoying the start to the season, watching some of these young guys play. Thank you for being with us today, and good luck tonight.
Of course. Thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward to what the rest of the season brings for us.
Also, we have Oliver Marmol on Tuesdays with us at 12 o'clock. Is there anything you want us to ask him?
Shoot, you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything right now. Ollie's been great.
Okay.
We go way back to 2007 draft. So it's been a lot of fun to be by his side for the last few years.
If you think of something, let me know. We'll ask him at 12 tomorrow.
I will.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right.
Daniel Descalzo, bench coach for the Cardinals with us, former infielder. Man, I really like their coaching staff too. I like it. I think it is a good staff. I think they are doing about as well as you could possibly do with the roster they have, the young roster they have. It might actually be one of the best pitching or coaching staffs for a young roster. Just a matter of, how some of these guys grow as their careers go on. And this season, by the time we get to September, I'm hoping for a lot of growth, and certainly hoping that Jordan Walker keeps this up, because
he's leading Major League Baseball right now.
I don't think he's going to keep doing that, but man, it's really fun to watch him get off to a hot start. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu. The BizDash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis, an office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at Lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids' crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. So this is not the time for I hope it works out. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, April 14th and 16th at Bartolino's Twin Oaks. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines can impact your returns, dealing with issues like taxes, outliving your money, and long-term care. Find out if your retirement strategy is truly stress tested for today's economy. 636-230-8824 or at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Great news, Ranj. Are you busy on May 12th?
Yeah.
You're not, though.
Okay.
So Ross Chaffetz, you know, of the arena.
Yes, I know.
Yes. He tweeted out, "Hey, St. Louis, we are looking for celebrities, media, athlete personalities to compete in a May 12th pickleball pro-am open to the public to promote the St. Louis Shock, the professional pickleball team, Major League Pickleball team at Chaffetz Arena on June 4th through the 7th. So they need famous people, media.
Famous people.
And you're a media person.
I'm a media person.
You're multi-market famous because you're a bigger deal in Chicago than you are here even. And so I told Ross Chaffetz that you would absolutely be there.
I can't make it.
You can.
I don't want to add to the noise pollution, though. Yeah. It really upsets the people in the neighborhood.
You know, that's why you're so good is that you can smash it with one hit.
And then it's over. Where is this happening? Is this in Forest Park?
I don't know.
Okay. Very good.
But it says drop some high profile. So on Ross Chaffetz's Twitter thread, it says drop some high profile St. Louis names that play pickle. And if I know anyone who plays pickle, it's you.
I love pickle.
So I
love pickle.
I have submitted your name and expect to play.
Thanks, buddy.
And the old Battle Axe can play with you because she is also famous.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. I'll see what
She's super famous.
She's busy.
I don't think so.
She doesn't live here anymore.
She can come in town if she
Can't do it. Too busy. How do you feel about artificial intelligence?
Hate it.
Okay, well, you're going to love this. The Financial Times with an exclusive this morning. Meta, that is Mark Zuckerberg's company that owns Facebook, they are building an artificial intelligence version of Mark Zuckerberg that will engage with employees in his stead.
No, they are not. No, they're not.
It is part of a broader push to remake the big tech company around artificial intelligence.
No.
So employees are going to have to interact
Don't tell
with
Steve this.
AI Mark Zuckerberg.
Can you imagine AI Steve?
Oh my
Somehow
God.
I feel like AI
I could
Steve.
be AI Steve. Let me do it.
I feel like AI Steve would somehow be like meaner. Terrible show. I hate the show.
Meaner. Let me prolific.
I wonder if AI Steve will text in during the show to complain
I don't
about
like this. What are you talking about?
why am I listening to this show right now?
I feel like AI Steve would show up on my TV at home and just start yelling at me about what I'm watching.
Like, no matter what you're doing the dishes and you're like, you turn around, AI Steve is somehow there.
Oh my God. I don't want it. Don't want it. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to our guy, Michael Kelly. There's plenty of local politics to get into, and the situation with Eric Swalwell is also interesting. I'd like to get his take on that, too.
Yeah.
And he went and cheered on Amy at the Go St. Louis Marathon over the weekend.
Right.
He saw the successful event that St. Louis once again put on. Michael Kelly with us next on KMOX.
Step into a world of mystery and beauty with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in From Mozart to Wagner, Mysticism and Wonder. Conductor Hannu Lintu leads a luminous weekend from Wagner's shimmering Lohengrin Prelude to the grandeur of Respighi's Church Windows. Pianist Jan Lisiecki makes his SLSO debut to perform one of Mozart's spellbinding piano concertos April 18th and 19th at Powell Hall. Tickets at slso.org.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair. Their crews are very polite, and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting, always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some Power Bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
At 10 o'clock, we have partly sunny skies, 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, U.S. stock futures tumbled after President Trump announced a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. All the major indexes opened lower, but are now mixed to flat. Michael Farr is the chief investment officer for Farcrest Capital.
This blockade of a blockade is an interesting strategy by President Trump to try and squeeze revenues, whatever remaining revenues are going into Iran, from going into Iran.
President Trump once again slapping tariffs on prescription drugs and ingredients produced outside the United States, some of those ranging as high as 100%. Ron Fitzwater is with the Missouri Pharmacy Association. He tells Missouri Net there won't be much of an impact here.
It's just the branded drugs, so it does not impact generic pharmaceuticals, biosimilar products.
Also, the new tariffs have not yet taken effect. Fitzwater says that likely won't happen until this summer or possibly September. Body camera footage showing St. Louis police shooting a minor has been released. It's from 2024 and shows a city officer chasing, yelling at, and ultimately shooting 17-year-old Emishan Wilkins in the back of the head. In the video, you can hear the officer yelling at Wilkins to drop the object in his hand, which the officer believed was a gun. Once Wilkins is handcuffed, the video shows the object is actually a phone. The footage was released as part of the lawsuits filed by the Wilkins family against the city and the officer who shot Wilkins. A new segment of the Brickline Greenway opening today, along with a new art installation and mural. The mile-long addition will run St. Louis City's SC Energizer Park and Harris Stowe State University, running along Market Street between Compton Avenue and 22nd Street. It will be separated into 2 paths, one for biking or running, one for walking and viewing artwork. An opening celebration takes place at Harris Stowe State University today, starting at 4:30. From the KMOX Business Desk, Roblox is introducing new age-based accounts for young users. More from CBS News tech consultant Ian Scher.
there are waves of lawsuits targeting tech and gaming companies that say they aren't doing enough to protect young people. And now that juries in high-profile cases have ruled against the tech companies, there's likely to be even more pressure coming.
Effective mid-May, young Roblox users will be grouped into 3 age categories: Roblox Kids 5 to 8, Roblox Select 9 to 15, and regular Roblox for 16 years and above. The grouping aligns with Roblox content maturity designations for games: minimal, mild, moderate, and restricted. Let's get a check of weather now. It's sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Times of sun and clouds this afternoon, breezy and very warm with a high of 86. The record is 89, set in 1941. Partly cloudy, breezy and warm tonight, though 71. For tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, breezy, quite warm and rather humid, the high 88. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have partly sunny skies, 73 degrees in Florissant, 75 in St. Peters, 73 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, 10 o'clock on a Monday, and I am so thrilled to welcome in a true friend.
Hey, now.
A genuine, caring,
I got to hear about this now.
thoughtful friend
I got to hear about this.
who is so much nicer than Chris Ranji. It's
here we go.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that
right.
person is Michael Kelly.
Hey,
Michael Kelly, who
good
got
morning.
up early, came out to Forest Park to cheer
All
me
right.
on in my race.
Yeah.
And I was running, and I look up, and there I see him. Oh.
Okay.
So it was Amy on
Bored on a Saturday morning, Michael Kelly was.
Yes, I was.
Let's go watch these people run by.
No, I was going to exercise, and Amy did a really good job. I mean, when you're an elite runner, you know exactly when you're going to hit certain spots. And Amy said, I will be pulling into the park at about 9 a.m. And so
I sent a map. I gave you a map,
yeah,
and I
you
said,
gave
right
me a
here.
map.
I'm going to be right here at 9 a.m.
And so I got over into the park I live right across the street. And so I walked over there about a mile to where Amy said she was going to be. And so I just was doing my own walk back and forth. I'd go up a mile and come back. And then right around 9 o'clock, sure enough, here's the first couple of ponytails I see come bopping into the park. And there was Amy, and I was like, Amy, go get it. This is your home course, girl.
Yes,
get it.
you did.
Yeah, and Amy, man, what a rock star. I mean, have you seen any of the pictures of her?
Yeah.
From the run?
Yeah.
This person is in incredible shape. I mean, just incredible
well, she runs
shape.
marathons.
Yes, but no, most of these marathoners, Chris, look like they're sick. They look
That's actually not wrong.
They look like
That's
they're,
not wrong.
they may have had cancer and they're
Like the healthy skeletons.
Yeah.
Some
I don't
some
even know
runners,
if they look
yeah.
healthy, Amy. I mean, you can see defined muscle a little bit on their arms and, of course, their legs. But no, they don't look healthy. They look gaunt in the face. You looked healthy, and you were killing it, girl. And I'm telling you, I was super impressed by you. And, you had a cadre, you and another lady.
Julie.
Julie,
Absolute stud.
and 2 dudes that were running with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, it was so fun. And Julie and I ran with those guys for a while. And then we dropped them, I want to say at like 23.
Right.
And that was when Julie made
when
her
the run
move.
started,
Yeah.
when it really
Yeah.
got started. And you were exactly right. When I got there, you went into the park, and I guess it was like a 3-mile loop, if you will, inside of the park. And I did not see another female until you two were leaving the park.
Oh, yeah.
That's how far behind they seem to have been from you all. And I was really impressed. I mean, like, I don't know. I felt like a weirdo that I was like taking pictures of, And then I was like,
females.
and I'm
Damn,
like, well,
Michael.
what can I do with this? So I sent Amy her photos, and then I sent them to Tom Ackerman because I thought, I'm not posting photos of Amy on Twitter. So I sent it to Tom, and I said, maybe this is appropriate for the sports page. I don't know, whatever. And left it to him because I didn't want people being like, how about this Kelly creeper taking photos of Amy and posting them on the internet?
No, it was really fun. And that's actually something that I love, and it's a benefit of a hometown race because I've run a lot of marathons. I do not have very many pictures. I mean, you have the race pictures, the ones you pay for, but I don't have many pictures or videos because most of them are out of town. And I'm trying to think the last time I ran the St. Louis Marathon might have been 10, 12 years ago.
Is that right?
And so
this is a once in a decade thing that I showed up for as a friend.
Yeah.
I walked a mile to get there.
You
I
walked
didn't
7 miles.
Well, on the day, but I didn't have to just open my door and check you out.
Yeah.
I walked a mile to get over there.
Well, I appreciate it, and it
All I
meant
would
a
have
lot.
had to do is look out the window.
I know. All you had to do was open the curtain.
Yeah.
You go, Amy.
No,
But it was fun, though, because we did see so many friends. And St. Louis, I just want to praise St. Louis, Mona and Greater St. Louis Marathon. Go St. Louis. What a fun event. What a beautiful course. A tough course. A lot of hills, but a beautiful course. And all the running buddies and friends that I have took videos, took pictures. They'd be at different points of the course so they could snap a short video or short picture.
Well, I got you, and the new iPhones are awesome, by the way. You can zoom in like several hundred yards. So I knew when you were coming back around the loop that I could. So I zoomed in, and you kept running behind these dudes. And I'm like, come on, Amy, bop out from behind these guys because my picture angle wasn't great.
Yeah.
So in reality, half of the pictures I have of you are from the backside, which may be even more creepy.
Wow.
But I did get one really cool picture when you ran. When you ran by me, you had your finger up in the air, and it was awesome.
Well, so now you notice people on the side. You can see them because I thought you were one of those. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
In my peripherals when I'm running.
Usually that's the way. This was a very different race. It was where we kind of went into it racing, not just watching the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually I go out of town, you place where you place, I don't usually go in thinking, hey, I have a chance to win this. It's usually you're trying to run a certain time and it's a different kind of suffering. But this was so strategic and also it was a hometown race. So you do notice people that I did miss some people because one of my friends said, you didn't acknowledge me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I, must have been focusing. But it is a little bit different when you are, like, for instance, you talk about how we were right behind those guys. And we actually kind of fell back in Forest Park. But you try to tuck in and you try to just like sit on people if they're in front of you. Like you literally just tuck in.
Psychologically, it helps you because you're like right on top of somebody.
Kind of helps if there's wind and you just tuck in. So a lot of times in a marathon, you try to find a group. Usually, obviously, it's a group of guys because if you're the lead females and you try to like just tuck in right behind them. So that's why we were always, behind one guy or two guys or whatever it may be.
Well, just to put a bow on this, I've had friends who semi-acquaintances who've been professional athletes, that I've kind of had a friendship with. I've never been in a close relationship like we have, a work relationship, a friendship with a world-class athlete like you. And that was pretty spectacular. I mean, I knew you were a great runner. I had no idea that you were one of the most elite runners. And I was in awe of you doing it that day. So congratulations. Kudos to you. And you're a sick human that wants to go. Are you going to run another one of these this year?
Yes. It lit a fire. It lit a fire. Yeah,
Weird.
for sure.
Super weird.
It is
and the
weird.
dudes, man, I'm telling you, they all looked sick. Now, by the time Amy got out of the park, I was walking towards downtown on my walk. And that was when the people who looked like you and I came in.
That's
Raj.
right.
Guys with a little bit of heft on them.
Yeah.
Even if they were muscle bound, they were bigger. They didn't look like they were sick. They looked like they could eat more than 2 bites at a meal.
They
had butts. They weren't, everything wasn't goo that they were putting into their mouth. They were real humans, both male and female. that were coming into the park, and it was pretty spectacular. And I don't mean that about Amy. Amy's in cut shape. Go check out the photos on the internet. She is in.
All right.
No, she's cut. I'm telling you right now, I'd be afraid to get into a squabble with her.
She'd have
to jump up to punch us, but she would hurt us because that's muscle, man. There is nothing but muscle there.
We have a texter that says, "Congrats, Amy. So, what life trauma are you running from?"
Well,
so true. No, but thank you, Michael. It was
a
really
good time.
fun to see
I'm
you out
happy
there.
to have seen you, and it was cool. I'm sorry your other friends missed you.
Just it was a little far away from me.
Yeah.
So hey, what do you
to open the curtain?
What do you make of this as we move away from the marathon to the Eric Swalwell situation?
All right, before we talk about it, let me just say,
yeah.
Are any of us surprised?
No.
Didn't he kind of have that creep
Yes.
factor
There was a thing,
about
yeah.
him? There just was something strange about him all along. So when it broke, I wasn't too surprised. What's amazing to me is the ego of these primarily men that think they're going to get away with this. This isn't the 19.
Well, they probably do.
But I mean,
Still.
he was Snapchatting photos of his body to people. He was, look, I mean, part of the reason that I've never run for office is, God, no, I get people spot me out right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, have I been behaving? Was I yelling at anybody? What was my language like? I couldn't imagine being one of these people that's literally on TV every day, on social media constantly. And then have enough time to be Anthony Weiner or Eric Swalwell or any of these clowns to be doing all that other stuff and not think it's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
What is the psychological ego issue there that they think that they can get away with this?
I don't really, especially if you have national political aspirations, and being the governor of California is a national political figure.
It's the 5th biggest economy in the world.
Yeah, so I don't really understand it. I don't understand the thought process, and I mean, I don't know, man. But he is rightfully being chased out.
Well,
and that's the other thing that I wanted to ask you about.
That's where I'm happy too. Is I mean, we eat our own in this party. We see if somebody doesn't live up to it, we go after them. We take them out. Maybe we learned that lesson as a result of President Clinton and what went on during that thing. But the people who walk around with "What Would Jesus Do" bands on and who've been lecturing us about constitutions and religion and morals and family values, they're standing by a convicted sex offender. They're standing by someone who is casting himself as Jesus. Whereas the Democrats, look, our best chance to probably have this governor's office was in this guy's hand. It's more than likely in this jungle primary, and that's what they call it out in California, where both parties run at the same time, and then the top two will run off. If you look at the polling right now, it's more than likely that those top two people will be Republicans. And there is no sacred cow. We're eating our own because they're wrong. And shame on the Republicans who've, stood by and allowed this to happen. And I know Fox News is going to be obsessed with this tonight, and they're going to be spending, 50 minutes of their hour on Eric Swalwell and what dirtballs the Democrats are. Hey, look in the mirror, folks. Look in the mirror. Look at what you're supporting. Look at what you're standing by. And maybe take a page from what's happening from Nancy Pelosi and all those people that you loathe that are running this clown out of our party.
Yeah, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries put out a statement basically saying that he should drop out.
Adios.
His staffers
Adios.
Put a statement out saying we're out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was none of this. Nobody protected him.
Nope. And he shouldn't be protected.
I mean, there were a handful of people who did come out and wondered about the timing of it. But the major players in the party said, no, we're done.
No,
we're done here.
And still, I had no idea the man was married. I thought he was single. By the way he's behaved everywhere, even leading up to us knowing this about him, I'd never seen him with his wife. Wasn't he, dating people around Washington, D.C.? And then all of a sudden I saw that I'm suspending my campaign and I'm reflecting with my family. I'm like, whoa, family?
Wife
what
and 3
family?
kids.
What in the world?
Well, and I know this is slightly different, but remember the Fang scandal, the spy, the
Right.
Chinese spy? And I know she was just working for his office. I don't know if they I don't know if it went anything beyond that, but he's always had, like you said, a weird vibe where things have always happened around him, and he was very active on social media in a way that was far too cavalier considering his office. I think sometimes with timing, I think it is so incredibly difficult for women who have been sexually assaulted to speak out, because you just want it to go away. When something like that happens, you want it to go away. And it's difficult to speak out, especially if you know, like, well, what if they take his side? What if I get hate? But I wonder if the timing sometimes is they think, well, maybe he'll be a representative and then go away. But they realize when this man who's done horrible things might take a higher office, then they think, I've got to let people know what he's done. I don't know if that's why sometimes the timing is this way, but it would make sense. Because a lot of women, I think, want it to go away. It's an awful, awful thing.
And true to the plot line, there wasn't just one allegation. There's lots of allegations. I think most of us, and what gets spent is, who knows what happened in a relationship. People say things about each other, and things maybe get blown out of proportion. But true to this plot line, here we go. It wasn't just one. And I bet we're going to continue to learn about more and more. There is something messed up in the brains of these individuals that, number one, they're executing the behavior that they're executing, and then two, believing in the microscopic world that we live in today of social media, cameras, getting on television, being everywhere, that they're going to get away with it. It's crazy.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, there was a time where it was a lot easier to, but I don't get the mindset.
I went to a birthday party on Saturday night at Filoni's. By the way,
great place.
Love Filoni's.
It was
great
in our
pizza.
It was.
And I'm sitting there, and I didn't even know the people, most of the people that were at the birthday party. It wasn't a huge party. We were in a throwaway side of the room where, not many people will see us. And I'll be a son of a gun, if not 20 minutes into that party, I get a text message from Andy Banker with a picture of me saying, one of our spies sees you out. Now, I'm a guy who shows up on TV one day a week for 30 minutes on a Sunday morning. You got to get up and try to see what I look like. And people were spotting me. What do these clowns think they're going to get away with?
Look at Michael Kelly. He's out.
He's out. Is he drinking?
Oh, no. Well, buddy, we appreciate you coming in on an off day.
Congrats. It was impressive.
You.
It was impressive.
Michael Kelly with us. He'll be back on Friday morning with Hancock. John Hancock from 9 until 10. You got your show before that, though?
Yeah, we'll be here with you.
What time are you starting?
We start at 8:30 on
8:30.
Friday mornings. We'll talk for a couple minutes, and then you two come in and really set us straight.
Let's go.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye now.
Michael Kelly with us on KMOX.
Most sellers put their home on the market and just wait to see what happens. This is Debbie Monterey. I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma. And I'm Tom Gamma. When it comes to tree care, call the name you can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the third generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
100 years, one legendary voice. Relive KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
It's coming up, baby, on Wednesday. If you're one of those people that likes to beat the deadline, you have a couple of days now to get your taxes finished and submitted, because April 15th happens this Wednesday. And we know that there are some procrastinators out there, and you'd be stunned to find out that two of them are in this room. Actually, I think all three of them.
No. Remember I got my act together last year?
Well, you're still running up against it.
Well, yes and no. I had my tax appointment in March, but because of the government shutdown, we couldn't get some of the papers we needed, so we had to reschedule the next appointment. So for today, which means I beat the deadline.
Congratulations. Everybody. Very well done. Well, Amy marks scores. That leads us to our question of the week. And this is really going to be a question of the half week, because we have to end the poll on Wednesday or Thursday, I guess. Maybe we'll end it Thursday. But the question of the week: have you done your taxes yet? And you have three options: yes, waiting till the last minute, or planning to do tax fraud. So those are your three options. If you go to our Twitter account at Chris Amy KMOX, it'll be pinned right at the top. You can vote on it, and you can tell us what your tax situation is.
Yeah.
I have voted waiting till the last minute, because that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting till the last minute. In fact, I'm actually not doing them. I got a guy who does them, and he said to me about a week and a half ago, hey, send me your stuff by the end of the week. And so I did, and I haven't heard from him in a week.
You're probably going to jail.
Yeah, so I probably should follow up with him to make sure he's on it.
Do you cry every year?
I don't cry, but I do feel a little like Chris Rock in his stand-up special from like 20 years ago, where he said, just take the taxes you need right away. Don't come to me all late like a crackhead. Like, I need a little bit more money. Like that. Just what is this? We've paid taxes all year, and then at the end of the year, you want more.
And how they're going to make it super complicated, and if you don't get it right, you're going to be thrown in prison.
And I don't mind paying taxes. I think that's just part of living in a society. The idea.
The worst part is not paying it, and partly it depends on how much money you make.
It's the complicated nature of paying them.
It's the complicated nature with the threat of going to prison.
Yeah. So I think the way they should do it is the government should just do it. Here's what you owe us at the end of the year. We've calculated all of your income. If you want to challenge this, go ahead. Otherwise, pay us this money. Why not just do it that way? Here's your tax bill, end of the year. We've seen what you've made. We've seen what's been reported. You owe this. And then you say, well, actually, I have these deductions. I want to do this. Or you're like, nope, that looks good. Thanks. Why can't we just do that?
I feel like the government wouldn't be kind with the deductions. They wouldn't give you the benefit of a doubt. And I wonder how long it would take to get your money back. Because remember how John Hancock talked about how he paid his personal property taxes twice.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't get a hold of the St. Louis County to get his money back.
That sounds right.
Because I'll tell you what, you may need a lot from the government that takes forever. But the minute that check where you're paying your taxes and it touches the mailbox, the minute it makes contact with the mailbox, they deposit that check. They can do that quickly.
How many people, what percentage of respondents do you think are going to tell us they are going to do tax fraud?
Well, knowing our audience, I think it's going to be a disappointing.
I think it's going to be higher than it should be.
That's exactly right.
Go to our Twitter account and follow us at Chris Amy KMOX. We're very easy to find. This poll, the question of the week, is right at the top. It is pinned at the top. Have you done your taxes yet? Yes. Waiting till the last minute. Planning to do tax fraud.
To do tax fraud.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. We're going to talk a little Cardinals baseball and more with Matt Pauley, who will join us in a moment on KMOX.
All Access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
You're constantly trying to figure out how to get meaningful information through to the player in a way where they can put it into action. If they can shoot holes in your game or in your information or your delivery, you're done. If you come into those and you're 80% prepared and they can shoot holes in your messaging or in your points that you're trying to make, you lose credibility real quick, and you're not gaining that back anytime soon.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's a warm one and windy, 75 degrees right now, a high today of 84. It will be breezy, lots of sunshine this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, warm, a low of 69. Weather brought to you by SNL Coins.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Biz-Dash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis, an office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Today,
The Cards, the Guardians.
Aaron Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bayo's pitch is swung on, and there's a high fly ball. That's hit to deep left center field. Back to the track, the wall. It's a goner. Walker hits a home run to get the Cardinals on the board. An 8-game hitting streak was 6 home runs out of his 12 hits.
Go Paulie!
Paulie's a great name.
Go Paulie!
What'd you do for Paulie? Anything?
Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
How about this Jordan Walker fella? He is just absolutely tearing it up here. We're April 13th. So we're a little over a couple of weeks into the regular season. And for a guy who's been, we've been waiting to really see some incredible production out of him. Finally, the Cardinals are getting it. Not that he hasn't been productive before, but this is a little different. We've got Matt Pauley with us, the host of Sports Open Line, Redbird Rush Hour, and pre and post game for the Cardinals on KMOX. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
So I know we've talked a lot about him, but it just keeps going. He's still producing.
Yeah, it's remarkable, right? Like, he's number 1 in Major League Baseball in home runs with 7. He's number 5 in Major League Baseball with 14 RBIs. He's got the 3rd highest slugging percentage at 745. He's got the 4th highest OPS at 1138. I mean, I can keep going, but you get the idea here. It is absolutely remarkable what he is doing when you consider this guy was arguably one of the single worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball, really for the better part of the last 2 seasons. He had a sub 600 OPS last year. It was just bad. And for him to be doing what he is doing right now is really, really awesome. And it's just the constant reminder of what we said, that even though this guy had a few years in the big leagues, he was super young. And there's nothing like he has not proven himself 100% yet. There's still this process of the league adjusting to him and him adjusting to the league and all that sort of stuff that happens with every hitter. But right now, all we can go off of is the 15 games he's played this year, where he has put up incredible numbers. And it just brings us back to the main point that, yeah, he struggled in his first few years in the big leagues, but because of those underlying things that he did so well, it would have always been a mistake to give up on him, because he's not even a late bloomer. He's like a normal bloomer right now with where his age is at.
And also, Matt, he's not a lot of this production. So, he's hit all these home runs. He's got 7 on the season, and some of them are coming in bigger moments. It's not like this is all garbage time production. Just the other night, he hit a home run to pull him within 1, and it was late. It was I think it was an 8th inning home run, or maybe 9th. And, he's doing this also when it matters. It's not just, hey, we're down by 10. I guess I'll hit my home run now. That's not really what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And he, when the team is behind, he is hitting .542 with an 1810 OPS this year.
Wow.
So, which is just crazy, right? Just crazy numbers. 5 of his home runs have come when the team is behind. And I would guess more often than not, they haven't been. I'd have to go look at like every single home run. I don't have them all off the top of my head right now. But like even yesterday, they're down 3-0 when he hits that home run. That makes it a 3-1 game. All of a sudden, you feel like, all right, the Cardinals are right there. There's a big difference between being down 3 and being down 2 runs. So, I think you're right, and he is. It's been really fun to see. Now, to be fair, when the team is tied and he comes up to the plate, he's only a 176 hitter with a 616 OPS.
See, now we're just hitting. Now we're nitpicking now.
Yeah, now we're getting a little nitpicky when we do that.
Hey, actually, for the layman or the average fan, what is a middle of the road fine OPS?
750.
Like 700.
Okay.
750.
Yeah, I'd say 750.
So that's
probably
a benchmark for being fine.
I think if you're over 750, I think you're doing well.
Yeah.
Over 800 is really good. I mean, if you're getting close to 9 or better, that's like MVP / Hall of Fame kind of number.
1,000 OPS is Hall of Fame. Like
so 1,000 OPS is definitely is surefire Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and
So
which
like
is
Albert
where
Pujols.
he is essentially at right now. Exactly.
But,
and again, his OPS right now is 1138, so he's 1,000 over or 100 over 1,000 at this point.
And I know we're early in the season. I mean, you see this with every sport where stats and players level off, obviously, the deeper you get into the season. But Matt, I asked Ranj this earlier. How much longer would this rate of Jordan Walker production have to continue before you said, wow, I did not expect it to last this long? Or like, wow, this is now really something.
I mean,
because
I think it already
right
is.
now he's above like Aaron Judge. I mean, that's not going to last all season. But how long would it have to last for you to be, I don't know, maybe a little bit even more shocked?
I get, not to change your question, but maybe it's like, at what point do I really believe this is real? I'm very, very sure of it. And I don't know, it probably has to be like a 3/4 of the season sort of thing, to be perfectly honest with you. That's just the way baseball is. Part of the challenge of baseball is surviving the 162 game season. You have to build your team to win today, but you also have to build your team to win next week and next month. And that's the grind of 162 games. So we have yet to see Jordan Walker not just perform at a high level, we have also not yet seen him survive the 162 games. So I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I need to see him do it all year. Like, it's going to be, if he gets through the season and the numbers continue to stay, they don't have to be what they are right now. They're not going to be what they are right now. But if he finishes out the year and gets through 162 games and doesn't really fall back and doesn't hit a major wall that impacts him, that's when I start thinking about it being real for the future and just who he is now.
And just for what we were talking about a moment ago, frame of reference, Albert is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt, and he's going to go in with a 918 OPS. So, but granted, those years in St. Louis, he was over 1,000. He probably got himself into the Hall of Fame just by virtue of playing in St. Louis. If he had stopped his career after that, he'd still be in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly, because those there was a stretch of period there, and when he was with the Angels, where he was one of the worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he had a 758 with them total.
Yeah, so that doesn't even tell the story of how great Albert was, because his St. Louis OPS, he went 955 or better every single year from 2001 to 2010, with all but one of those years being, or all but 2 of those years being a 1,000 OPS.
Pretty amazing what he's done. And so far what Walker has done, again, I know we have to caveat this every single time, but it's still very, very early, but it is greatly encouraging. That's it's the best thing you could say about it.
It doesn't mean we're not supposed to enjoy it
course.
of it's early. It's not supposed we're not supposed to not dream about what this could be moving forward. You just know in the back of your head that baseball is a sport where you find yourself over 162 games and you find yourself over multiple seasons. So this is a really, really good start. Let's enjoy it, and let's be hopeful that it keeps on happening.
All right. Generally speaking, after the weekend series, Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to Boston. They've got Cleveland in town. Guardians are a good team too. So what are your thoughts on the Cardinals, the way they've played, and I guess really going back to this last series?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yesterday was a disappointing performance from Andre Palante for sure. And it kind of took you back to the way he pitched last season, unfortunately. Now, one bad start doesn't mean that we need to start jumping off a bridge or anything, because you look at what he had done in his 2 starts before that. 5 innings, 2 runs against Washington, against the Mets. He threw 5 shutout innings. But I do think that yesterday's performance from Palante is at least kind of a warning sign of, okay, let's watch this guy here moving forward, because the Cardinals have choices when it comes to starting pitchers. They've got Hunter Dobbins, they've got Richard Fitz, they've got other guys who are sitting there and essentially are ready to go. So I'm not throwing Andre Palante out at this point. He had 1 tough outing yesterday. That means 2 of his 3 outings have been pretty good. But I do think that I don't think the leash that maybe existed for some guys last year is going to exist this year when you have other individuals who are waiting for an opportunity. So there's going to be some pressure here on Palante moving forward. Overall speaking, losing 2 out of 3 to Boston, I mean, you want to win your home series. I get that. I talk about that all the time. Not the end of the world. Cleveland's a really good team coming in. You'd like to have some success against them if you possibly could. But this is a pretty tough stretch for the Cardinals right now. When you think about outside of Washington, and Washington just swept the Brewers over the weekend. First time they'd swept the Brewers in like 15 years. First time they'd swept the Brewers in Milwaukee since I think like 2001 or something. But outside of Washington, the Cardinals beginning their season with Tampa, the Mets, Detroit, Boston, and Cleveland. That's as tough of a first 3 weeks or so of a season that anybody's going to have in Major League Baseball.
Matthew, the St. Louis Blues beat the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago this weekend. On that same very afternoon, were officially eliminated from the playoffs.
They were. They gave us a little hope there at the end.
Yeah.
We learned in Shawshank Redemption that home could be a dangerous thing, and maybe it was for Blues fans. But you go back to that 2-game stretch against the Sharks and the Kings, and those were 2 one-goal losses. Man, oh man, oh man! If they could have found a way to win those 2 games, it'd be such a different world right now with where they were at. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. Always good to beat the Blackhawks. But now they go into the offseason. They're going to have 2 lottery picks because they have the Red Wings pick, and the Red Wings missed the postseason as well. So let's see who they can. You'd like, now that they've missed the playoffs, you can kind of retroactively say, well, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world for them to lose a few more games and have a better shot for a higher draft pick. But it is what it is, and now we'll see what kind of opportunities they get in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, it's especially disappointing after last year, but I mean, maybe this was the best thing to happen to them, because I don't know if it was likely they would have, if they did make the playoffs, go on any sort of run. So maybe this early realization that, hey, it's time to pivot, and maybe that happening early in the year was actually a blessing in disguise for them.
Yeah, and they kind of gave the keys to the car to some of the young guys, which I think is good for development and good for moving forward. And we learned a lot about some of the young guys. That being said, I would never lament them getting to the playoffs, even if it was a one and done, even if it was non-competitive in the first round, which it very could have easily been. I think there's always value in being a playoff team. You know, a lot of times we have these conversations in baseball about, should teams really be going all in or trying to push to get that final wild card spot, where in reality they're probably just going to be done. And I've always been of the belief that there is always value in being a playoff team. You always go for that. So I understand what you're saying. I think retroactively, now that they're not in the playoffs, we can have that conversation. But I would still say that all things considered, it would have been better if they would have found their way into the playoffs this year, no matter what. Matt,
we are asking the question this week on our show: have you done your taxes yet? April 15th is Wednesday. It's Monday right now, so don't have a whole lot of time. Your options are yes, waiting till the last minute, or planning to do tax fraud. Where are you right now?
As of about 12 hours ago, they are done, thanks to my wonderful wife who handles that for the Pauly house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
We didn't even have done as an option.
They are submitted. They have been accepted by both the federal folks and the Missouri folks. We got the emails last night, so my wife is awesome with that. I would drown if I had to do something like that.
Did you write
I'm very glad.
your check to Gregory FX Daily?
Oh, he doesn't live in the city, do you?
Nobody works in the city.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
live in the
that's
city
right.
now.
That's right.
That's right. You got to write checks to Gregory
Sidebar,
FX
I think
Daily.
it is I hate it so much. I truly believe that if you pay taxes in a municipality, that you should have voting rights in that municipality. For those of us who work in the city but live elsewhere, I think we should be allowed to vote on some of the city things because we are paying taxes.
This is how the American Revolution started. Taxation without
It's
representation.
no taxation without representation. Literally, I work, they take payroll taxes from me. I should have a vote on I don't need a vote for city council members and stuff like that represent, specific areas. That's not what I'm talking about. But the big city issues, the mayor, other type of things, I pay taxes in city of St. Louis. I should have a vote.
Matt's gonna go down to Anheuser-Busch and get a bunch of Busch Light and dump it in the river just to protest.
Let's go. No taxation without representation. What are we doing, St. Louis?
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
You bet.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
There will be a Redbird Rush Hour at 5 o'clock, then the Cardinals pregame show at 5:50, and then at 6:45, first pitch, Matthew Liberatore will take on the Cleveland Guardians at Busch Stadium tonight, and we will have the broadcast right here on 104.1 FM, KMOX, and the Odyssey app.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
Curative, that's a complex decision that involves what we call multidisciplinary care. So that involves a surgeon, a medical oncologist, radiation oncologist. So you need the expertise, and that's something that we have here at Siteman, especially geared for these esophageal cancer patients.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Visit siteman.washu.edu.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spamalot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug.
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner of Timberline Professional Tree Care. The weather's warming up, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get back outside and start thinking about your trees. When you reach for your phone to call a tree contractor, we hope you'll give Timberline the opportunity to earn your business. Timberline is locally owned and operated and fully dedicated to delivering the best overall customer experience while providing the highest quality care for your trees. Every one of our crews includes at least one ISA certified arborist on site, not just in the office, but right there at your home, so you can be confident the work is done safely, correctly, and always with your tree's best interests in mind. From planting and fertilization to pruning and removal, we're committed to excellence in everything trees. So when it's time to make that call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Scores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So it feels like St. Louis is sabotaging these out-of-town broadcasts, Amy. What's going on around here?
I know. It's happened a couple times in the past week.
You told me about, I think you alerted me to both of them.
Yes. The first one was the Blues game when the Blues were playing the Winnipeg Jets at Enterprise Center. And I saw a tweet from Dan Robertson, who is the television broadcaster for the Winnipeg Jets on TSN, said, due to technical difficulties, we will be using the St. Louis broadcast for the remainder of the game. And it was a big chunk of the game. It might have been over half the game. I'm trying to remember now where exactly in the game they were. So somehow, I don't know on which end would have had trouble, Winnipeg, or if there was their setup wasn't compatible, which is so weird because it's the same division. Winnipeg has played at Enterprise a bazillion times. So somehow there was an issue with the TSN broadcast, and they could not get their broadcasters, so they used the St. Louis feed in Winnipeg.
It must have been an issue with the Winnipeg equipment.
Something.
It had to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it has to have been.
Right.
Or maybe on their end back in the studio,
right,
wherever they run the broadcast out of, or the Blues did it on purpose.
They sabotaged them.
Yeah, trying to expose.
Have you seen that before, where a broadcast will switch completely to
I've seen
the opponent's broadcast?
I have seen where the power goes out.
Yeah.
And they have to resort to the landline phone. I've seen it in baseball. I was at it happened with the Billikens.
With the Billikens, yeah.
I happened to have been, I think it was the Dayton game, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I was there, and I just, I'm looking down at press row, and I see Rammer and Earl Austin Jr., and they've got a phone, and they're passing the cell phone back and forth to each other, where Rammer's calling the game and then giving it to Earl, and Earl's offering his analysis and giving the phone back to Ramsey. So I've seen that happen. That's not unusual. That does go down, but I've never seen it where they said, all right, we give up. We're just going to go with the home broadcast now. And then it happened with the Nesson crew. With the Red Sox. They had some
New
issues
England
too.
Sports Network.
Yeah.
And all of their cameras were down in the last Cardinals game, except for the one camera angle that looks like it's on the ground watching the pitcher.
Yeah.
The whole game was from one camera angle. And it was bad enough that I would think at some point, I don't know again, because I'm not privy to the Nesson broadcast, but at some point, you would think that they would want to switch back to the Cardinals broadcast.
Technical difficulties with our cameras. We're actually down to just one camera.
So you do a lot of radio. I've done a lot of radio. So let's do a radio call here. Basically, what we're down to is the first pitch is in there for a strike.
Well, with these two faces, it's better for everybody. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because again, the camera angle is really funny. And if you were watching the game, you could probably watch it for a few seconds and not realize that something was off until the entire game is from that field level camera.
And of course, the radio call is way more descriptive.
Yes.
Because you can't see it. So you have to describe more for people listening. That I think most people know that.
Instead of using the field level camera for the whole game, I would have said, and now we're going to go to the Cardinals broadcast so you can see the action what's happening.
I wonder how difficult it is to do that.
I don't know.
That might be a much greater undertaking. I don't know. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Third and final hour of the show coming up, and White House correspondent for the Bulwark, Andrew Egger, joins the show. St. Louisan with us next on KMOX.
Why would life-saving care require a membership? In a real emergency, are you reaching for your wallet or your phone to call 911? And what if the member helicopter isn't the closest one? What if they don't carry blood on board? What if those differences matter? They do. Arch Air Medical Service is proud to serve Effingham and surrounding communities with life-saving air medical care. Our highly trained crews deliver advanced medicine in the air because when seconds count, capability matters more than a card in your wallet. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. Worried about cost? Here's the truth. The No Surprises Act protects patients with private insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You'll only pay your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. If you have Medicare or Medicaid, similar protections apply. Providers cannot bill beyond those limits. That means no air medical membership is needed. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Growing a brand is hard, but reaching the right customers shouldn't be. Meet Outcomes from Viant. We've built an intelligent platform that handles the complexity of digital advertising for you. Powered by advanced AI, we help your brand show up in the right places at the right time and ensure that every dollar you spend leads to a real business result. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan, no closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan, NMLS 226715.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 11 o'clock and the warm-up continues. We have sunny skies, 76 degrees now downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. The United States blockade of the Strait of Hormuz now in effect, with the U.S. threatening any large energy-carrying ships, especially from entering or exiting the small water pathway for those ships around Iran. Military analyst and retired U.S. Army Major Mike Lyons speaking with CBS News about the options President Trump has set up.
You saw the president say that we are going after the petroleum sites and not necessarily blocking the straits. We're going to allow certain ships through it, but for all practical purposes, just try to do this economic blockade on Iran itself.
Posting on Truth Social Sunday, President Donald Trump said Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. The Pope says his appeal for peace was not a direct attack against the president. Meanwhile, CBS News White House correspondent Natalie Brand says the president is getting more criticism over an AI-generated image of him depicted as Jesus.
Conservative activists are specifically calling out that AI image, saying it is blasphemous, and also adding they just cannot understand why the president would post a picture like that.
Missouri U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt's name has been brought up as a potential U.S. Attorney General nominee. Governor Mike Kehoe, who served with Schmidt in the Missouri Senate, tells Missouri Net Schmidt is well qualified.
I think it'd be great for our country and for our state should the administration choose Eric for Attorney General. I know that he has a great relationship with both the president and vice president, and I'm hopefully he's seriously considered.
If Trump nominates Schmidt for the job and the Senate approves, Kehoe would be responsible for choosing Schmidt's replacement. From the KMOX business desk, sales of previously owned homes slowed in March, down 3.6% on the month and 1% lower than a year earlier. The National Association of Realtors reports 4 regions of the country, the Northeast, South, Midwest, and West, saw month-over-month sales declines. Weather now, sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Times of sun and clouds this afternoon, breezy and very warm with a high of 86. The record is 89, set in 1941. Partly cloudy, breezy and warm tonight, though 71. For tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, breezy, quite warm and rather humid, the high 88. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sunny skies this hour, 77 degrees in Florissant at 76 in St. Peter, 76 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ronji, KMOX, hour 3 of 3 with you 9 to noon every weekday here on 104.1 FM and the free Odyssey app. It is time to visit with a regular of ours, a friend of the show. Andrew Egger is the White House correspondent for The Bulwark. He is the co-author of the Morning Shots newsletter, with which you should subscribe to, and we've got him now on KMOX. Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Very honored to be a friend of the show. I hope you're doing well.
I feel like you're more than a friend of the show. What's more than a friend?
More than a friend.
You're more than a friend.
This is either touching or becoming unsettling. And we can.
You are a love interest of the show. How about that?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
Everyone who meets you falls in love with you.
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess we can jump right into it, because I did wake up this morning and see that President Trump has said that now the U.S. will blockade the Strait of Hormuz after failed negotiations with Iran. Where do we stand exactly with that?
Yeah. So as we are taping now, our understanding is that this was not an empty threat. The U.S. has, in fact, begun to enforce, as of 10 a.m. Eastern time this morning, so about 2 hours ago, has begun to enforce this blockade that the president has promised. It is in some ways in keeping with the strategy that they have been employing so far. I mean, it really was sort of an unsustainable situation for Iran to be continuing to allow only some traffic that they approved of, and that reportedly, tankers were paying them bribes. That was an unsustainable status quo for the Strait of Hormuz. That said, this is a kind of a crazy way for the U.S. to go about this across a number of different axes. I mean, one of these is that just flatly, kind of full stop, it is the U.S. has no right to blockade the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, just like Iran, has no right to do this. It's an international waterway. It's governed by international law. There's supposed to be free commerce through here. Every seafaring country has the right to move its ships to and fro on through this strait as though it were sort of open sea, international waters. It is also a remarkable pivot away from where the White House had previously been on the specific question of Iranian oil and the ships that Iran was previously letting through. We've known for weeks. I mean, it's been the case for weeks since the war started that Iran was only letting through ships that were either its own or belonged to a couple of nations that Iran has unusually good relations with. Chinese ships, Indian ships, Pakistani ships were getting through. And moving through this sort of unusual route through what's been termed the toll booth, this sort of small sub channel of the strait, rather than going through the main channel of this small strait. But the U.S. had not only been sort of okay with that, the U.S. had actually kind of been actively encouraging that. The U.S. dropped certain long-standing, decades-old economic sanctions on Iranian oil in the midst of this conflict because they were hopeful that would at least put a little bit of downward pressure on these spiking energy prices, right? Like there's all this oil that can't get through the strait, so maybe for now we'll actually be okay with Iran, taking its oil through, even though under ordinary status quo circumstances, we don't want them to be able to sell that at all. So that's been kind of the policy up until this very moment. So now we're actually in a world where, even though we technically have this ceasefire still underway, that's the word on the street. Both the U.S. and Iran would tell you officially this ceasefire still exists. And part of this ceasefire supposedly is an open, unimpeded Strait of Hormuz that anybody can sail through. But the reality is that at this moment, as of 10 a.m. this morning, it is more closed than it has been at any point since the beginning of the war, and certainly at any point that has been in decades, because not only now is this toll booth not operating, not only is this trickle of Iranian ships not getting through, literally nobody can get through because either Iran will stop you or a little further south, the United States will.
Is there any feeling as to, or maybe this is unknowable, but if a deal were to be reached, how quickly things would start to move at the strait?
So it depends what you mean by how quickly things would start to move. Like if you just mean physically the ships that are, there's so many of these vessels that are just bottled up still in the Persian Gulf and have been forever. What we saw kind of last, I guess it was Thursday night, whatever night, Wednesday night, I don't remember right now, which night it was that we supposedly had the ceasefire go right into effect. And Trump said, strait's open, come on down. And immediately what we saw was there was kind of some ships like starting to move that direction, like, okay, I guess we're allowed to go through, but there's a lot of fog of war of this sort of stuff. And there's a lot of, well, I'm happy to sail through, but why don't you sail through first, right? I mean, there's questions about mines in the waters. There's questions about, whether, the government in Tehran may have said one thing, but maybe the local commander of this particular portion of the Iranian shore might not have heard about it, or might not agree, and might send a drone out your way anyway. I mean, we're talking about these massive, heavily laden ships, specifically when we're talking about energy tankers. We're talking about liquefied natural gas that's like super cooled and under extremely high pressure, and it's like a floating bomb, kind of. If you're out there piloting one of these ships, you want to be really, really, really sure that things are all clear before you start to sail through, before you make that transit. And so there are so many weird little outstanding things right now. Iran is claiming that the main channel still has mines in it that it can't account for, and that is using that as sort of its excuse to tell all traffic to continue moving through the toll booth, even though supposedly they're still operating under the ceasefire. Nobody's quite sure if Iran is telling the truth about that, or if this is just sort of like a deceptive thing to keep them in control of the strait. So there's stuff being done. I mean, the U.S. Navy is supposedly, again, today already beginning operations to do mine sweeping in that main strait. And if there were further political developments, that would signal that people can kind of start moving here. But there's so much sort of anxiety for the reasons that I described. You don't want to be the one who goes through and discovers by your misfortune, the world discovers that actually maybe things aren't quite so open as you thought.
With the mines that are in the Strait of Hormuz and how the U.S. Navy right now is doing mine sweeping, did there need to be some kind of blockade for them to be able to get in there and sweep from mines in the first place? Like, let's say Trump hadn't announced a blockade, would they have been free to go in there and sweep for mines? Because right now I know that had been a concern. I'm not sure the Iranian military knows where all of them are, or maybe they do.
Yeah, on this particular military strategy question, I mean, you're going a little bit beyond
Okay.
my knowledge of when it does and doesn't make sense. I mean, the Trump administration this morning, or I should say, the president himself this morning, basically put up a Truth Social post that was saying, we've decimated the Iranian Navy, we've sunk all your big ships. They do have some little light fast crafts that we basically left alone because the president said we didn't really consider them a threat, but you guys better not send those out toward us now as we are, getting ready to transit the strait in order to do this minesweeping stuff. I mean, I think my understanding is that the basic philosophy that the White House has taken, that the United States has taken with this war, is to mostly do the kinds of attacks that you can do from a safe arm's length distance, right? I mean, it's been all aerial bombardment. It's all been over the horizon stuff. And we have kind of kept ourselves and sort of minimized the danger to our own servicemen in that way, and servicemen and servicewomen. And the kind of strategy from the Pentagon was, well, maybe this will be sufficient. Maybe this will be enough, and we'll be able to sort of pummel Iran into submission with our superior air power, and that'll get it done. It appears now that we are going to be taking, more risks. And I guess part of it is they do have this slight assurance of the fact that there is this ceasefire, at least on the books, right? They plainly think that they are not necessarily going to be immediately shot at if they're sailing up and down the main channel of the strait in order to do this minesweeping stuff. But I see the blockade as sort of independent of that, right? I mean, they would probably be doing the minesweeping either way, right? If Iran were saying there's a ceasefire, but we still don't know where these mines are. Right. But so yeah, there's kind of the two separate things going on there of them trying to make sure that the strait is safe for transit, no matter what Iran says, and then them trying to use this blockade to pressure Iran into agreeing to let that main shipping lane be used when everybody is convinced that it's safe to use.
What's been the reaction today after the president's criticism of the Pope?
Oh man, so this is a strange one, right? Look, I'm not Catholic myself. I don't know if you guys are Catholic. The Catholic Church in America has long had sort of like a strange relationship, both with Catholicism internationally and with United States Christianity and with United States the United States government. There is like a strain of Catholicism that is sort of particular to America, that is very right-wing, very traditionalist, very kind of like bolted onto MAGA. Guys like Vice President J.D. Vance sort of represent this strain politically. They are a small but sort of loud participant in sort of broader MAGA right-wing politics. And I kind of wonder whether the president of the United States had kind of come to believe that was just the way Catholics are, right? Those are kind of the Catholics that he has around him. And they present a specific kind of way in terms of Catholicism. The Pope, obviously, sort of different. I mean, he's an American Pope. He was, it was sort of reported, largely considered. I mean, there's never been an American Pope before. There was sort of a sense from the Catholic Church that there is this, remarkable new sort of America on the world stage, represented by Term 2 Donald Trump, and maybe part of the job of Catholicism was going to be to try to constrain this regime morally in some ways. But if that was the goal, I mean, the Pope has not actively attacked Donald Trump. The Pope has called for peace. The Pope has encouraged everybody, as the Pope of the Catholic Church traditionally does, has been doing for a long time. Participants in these conflicts should lay down their arms and all these sorts of things. But I mean, this is not a president who likes to take criticism, and we've known that for a long time. And we saw him basically today. I don't know if he feels more unchained or more personally aggrieved because it's an American Pope. A lot of this stuff is the same stuff Pope Francis used to say, but he was not sort of American in the same sense. And so it is very strange to see the president going after the Pope in much the same terms as he would any one of his domestic political opponents, calling him weak on crime, calling him weak on Iran. I mean, just like these strange criticisms for a faith leader who does not control. It's not like this is not like an Ayatollah in Iran who is also like the sort of commander of a large military power. The Pope is a faith leader in the Vatican. And so there's been a lot of kind of like harumphing and a lot of like, whoa, we didn't really see this one coming, and a lot of kind of like brow knitted sort of quiet consternation on the part of a lot of sort of American Republican Catholics. But in the end, I mean, this is not that much different than the president's approach to anybody who criticizes him.
Andrew, before we let you go, what is the significance of Viktor Orban's loss in Hungary, especially since J.D. Vance was so, well, in effect, campaigning for him in Hungary?
Yeah, this has been strange. I mean, I was surprised to see the extent to which the whole American government was going to or the whole White House was going to really go out on a limb to try to buttress Viktor Orban's domestic political hopes in Hungary. It is not really the case that I mean, Hungary is not a major world power by any stretch. They are not really strategically important. But Orban in particular, his government, there has been this strange kinship between him and sort of the MAGA movement and sort of Trump republicanism here in America, because he is a world leader who has really tied himself to like a particular sort of like Christian social vision, while also sort of participating in sort of this scoffing off of liberalism and the international order and elites in general, and running sort of like an authoritarian light project of power consolidation and the destruction of institutions in his own country. And it's very much like what the president has been up to here. And they have sort of seen a kinship in one another all along. And I think that the president really just likes Viktor Orban and was hopeful to sort of keep him going on the global stage. Obviously, there's only so much a U.S. president and U.S. vice president can do to sway voters halfway around the world. And in fact, it almost seems as though this has backfired. If you trust the polling, it almost seems like Orban slipped a little further in the polling after J.D. Vance showed up and all that. But I do think in terms of the sort of like whole global thing, we have seen over the past 5 years or 10 years or whatever, a real just sort of anywhere you look, it's like liberal institutions are breaking down, civil society is breaking down. You have these strong men sort of popping up and saying, only I can fix these things. And it has been sort of a relentless wave of that across a lot of the world. And you could make the case, and I kind of hope that this will end up being the case, that this is the first real step back in the other direction of a people kind of saying, whoa, turns out these strong men aren't quite as good at actually just sort of putting everything back together as they themselves would like you to believe. And maybe we should give the sort of multilateral institution-based whole set of way of governing things. Maybe we should give that another shake. It will take a lot of putting back together, I will say. It's not so easy to rebuild these things. But that is, if you want sort of my off the dome read on what's going on in Hungary, I guess that's what I'd give you.
Andrew Egger, White House correspondent for The Bulwark. His newsletter is called Morning Shots. He is the co-author of that, and we get to talk to him every week. We appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you for being with us again.
Thanks, guys. Always fun.
Andrew Egger, and from St. Louis.
That's right.
Don't forget that. He's a real St. Louisan, and he joins us every week. He's the best. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the BizDash 5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at stlbizdash.com.
A new game day favorite is coming to Busch Stadium on Saturday, April 25th, when the Cardinals host the Seattle Mariners. That day, fans take home a Victory Blue Cardinals crewneck sweatshirt presented by Purina, a light and easy style that's perfect for spring and designed to fit right into your everyday wardrobe. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. A limited look you'll want to wear again and again. Tickets and info at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jose Fermin. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audien Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. we're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Grave Lee. You can save up to 20% on Grave Lee commercial mowers during the Grave Lee Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 19th. Visit your local Grave Lee dealer today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Another KMOX celebrity ran Saturday. That was Dave Simons. He ran the half marathon as a warm-up for the Pittsburgh Marathon in May.
Well, how about that? I didn't know that. Did we know that? We knew Dave was a runner. I didn't know he was participating this weekend.
I know. Dave is running as our caller he's on the ball, man. Nice work. But Dave did text me. He is running the Pittsburgh Marathon, and absolutely, he ran the half marathon, and he was 6th in his age group, which is pretty good. Out of 50 guys in his age group, and he came in 6th, and he was running the half marathon as a warm-up for his Pittsburgh Marathon in 3 weeks.
Very good. Good for Dave Simons. Good for Amy. And good for all of you who participated this weekend. And for those of you who got up to go watch these fools.
You had to do is move the curtain. You had to peek out behind the blinds like this. Like use your fingers to open the blinds and go, oh, there they are.
I couldn't make it. The Masters just happened this weekend.
Yeah.
And your guy Rory won.
Jack, Nick, Tiger, and now Rory as back-to-back repeat Masters champions.
But that wasn't the best thing that happened. So the Masters, as you know, is pretty stuffy. It's a stuffy event.
You would call it uptight.
It's an uptight event.
And it's uptight even for me, and I'm pretty uptight.
Like the broadcasters must refer to the gallery or the fans as patrons.
Oh, yeah. And it's not the back nine. It's the second nine.
Yeah.
You have to use a very certain approved vocabulary.
Which is strange, but okay. They're trying to keep a brand up. So they also do not like it if you, in the crowd, if you're a patron and you make a spectacle of yourself.
Give me back my son!
Hugging the left. Just keeping an eye on it.
So
Can we hear that again?
Give me back my son.
So somebody decided that they were going to exclaim the famous line from the movie Ransom with Mel Gibson.
Give me back my son.
That's the one. It's so good, man. I love it.
Give me back my son.
Hugging the left.
Hugging left just a bit there.
Do you think somebody tackled him? I mean, the Masters.
I haven't heard anything about whether or not he was caught. I'm assuming he has, but they will very likely ban him for life.
Yeah.
So there's no, and this was while Rory was teeing off that this guy said that. And I don't know, again, all the stories that I have seen, I have not seen one that says he's been found, but they are very good about locating you and you will be banned. So he's probably not going to get to go back to Augusta any longer.
I'm sure, I know there's security, and he was right there, obviously, by the tee box. So the security was even heavier, because I was wondering, would there have to be a snitch to say it was that guy?
I wouldn't tell on him.
If the whole crowd banded together, how would they know?
That was the highlight of the whole weekend.
I mean, just think, you're thinking, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And you know how hard it is to get that spot by the tee box for the leader to tee off? It was Rory McIlroy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than, the old classic, get in the hole.
Oh, that's terrible. And
Yeah, I
that
hate
is
that one.
illegal. That's illegal at the Masters.
You can't shout anything.
No. And you definitely can't yell, get in the hole.
Give me back my son. Give me back my son.
It's so right.
It reminds me of.
I hope nobody turned him in. I hope they were all tight-lipped and they said,
I agree
no.
with you. Let the man live. That was joyful for me.
Because it was creative.
It was so creative. It was the best. It was the best thing that happened, I think.
Because you have to really like golf, and you're a guy thinking, I've got the money and the time and the opportunity to go to the Masters, but I'm also love the movie Ransom.
You remember the Florida Panthers, their broadcaster. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name, but it is just now occurring to me. I wish I had thought of this earlier. But he was yelling random phrases, and this was about 20 years ago or so. He was yelling random phrases during goals, and people were starting to offer him movie lines. And so somebody would score, and he would say, "Mom, meatloaf," stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
But it was really good. At first, I don't think there was anybody doing anything like that. So it was super entertaining. Florida Panthers.
Well, this wasn't Steve Goldstein. No, he wasn't. It wasn't Steve Goldstein. Anyway, no, I was thinking. At any rate,
You thinking of Steve Gutenberg?
No, of the Florida announcer.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I hope the Masters guy made it out.
I do too, and I hope he gets to go back to the Masters and he has something even more creative next time.
I hope they find his son too.
Yeah,
Give me back my son.
You know what? The only way we'll know if he'll made it out is if he does it next year.
The combination of the tee off and then that immediately is such a good. It's a good combo.
Give me back my son.
Hugging the left.
I love it. Hey, it's Chris and Amy on KMOX, and it's tax season, so you need to be very conscious of scams and stuff like that. And we have a scam story for you that maybe you have read about in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch with involving one of the restaurants here in St. Louis. And I have to tell you, it's remarkable. Just reading it, just really incredible how it all went down. And we are going to tell you about that in just a moment. But we also want you to know that right now, this is, and by the way, this station is a partner of FanDuel. And new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. You heard me right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, which are coming up here, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, matchups, all of that in one place. And then you can make your picks and feel confident in doing that. Everything you need, all in one app. Don't miss your shot. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Spring cleaning rule number 1, out with the old, in with the new. And frankly, your family's old internet connection is a dinosaur. Upgrade to the 1 gig modern family standard from i3 Broadband. It's 100% true in-home fiber with equal upload and download speeds, so your teenagers gaming won't crash your video call. Even better, we're currently offering our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. Say goodbye to exploding promo prices and hello to budget certainty. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is windy, it is hot, and yet again, we will approach the record high today. I don't think we'll hit it. The record high was 89 back in 1941. Our high right around 84 today. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, and warm, a low of 69. Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The weather brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair. Their crews are very polite and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
April is the perfect time to reset your home for the long run, and Universal Windows Direct makes that decision easy. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. Plus, you'll get 24 months with no payments and no interest, giving you a full 2 years to enjoy the comfort before you pay a dime, and a $500 bonus off your home improvement project. Universal Windows Direct has been great to me. They've been great to all of my listeners. They are absolutely the real deal. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Here's Horton over the line, waits, leaves it there for Booth. Wrist shot, shoots, he scores! Wilson! Froelich, top of the faceoff circle, back to Ballard, back to McCabe, wrist shot, shoots, he scores! Bonarama!
That's him. And thanks to the texter, the Florida Panthers broadcaster was Randy Moller. Moller. And that's what he was doing. I heard him tell the story about how he came up with it. He was just shouting random movie and music lyrics, movie lines and music lyrics after goals.
Give me back my son.
I don't think he ever did that one, but man, that would have been perfect. But it caught on to the point where people were submitting ideas like, hey, try this movie line.
That's pretty funny.
It was clever. I liked it.
Kind of unusual for, maybe I'm wrong in this, but I feel like it's unusual for a major sport broadcast. Obviously, soccer has wacky calls, right? Joey Zanaboni has those. But,
I feel like
baseball, football, hockey, you don't always see that.
I feel like Randy Moller crawled so Joey Zanaboni could fly, you know? Anyway,
I'm picturing all the Harrison Ford, not without my wife, not without my family. That would also be a good one to yell.
Got off my plane.
Yeah. That's what I honestly thought the Masters, not without my son, give me back my son. I thought that was Harrison Ford because he kind of sounds like Harrison Ford when he yells it.
A little bit.
Give me back my son.
It's so great, man. So one of the more popular restaurateurs in the city of St. Louis is Danny Eichenhorst. And I know you know her places. Yeah. She is involved with Steve's Hot Dogs, the Fountain on Locust.
Just as a side note, Steve Ewing.
Yes.
Steve's Hot Dogs.
Yes.
They were the post-race party at the marathon.
Is that right?
It was a huge concert after the race. It was a lot of fun right there by the soccer stadium.
So one of their restaurants recently, during a busy dinner rush, got a fake phone call from somebody who said they were with the FBI. And the FBI person on the phone, the alleged FBI person, or the fake one, told the person who answered the phone, and it was a woman in her mid-20s, said, don't tell anybody else. You're in trouble. The restaurant is in trouble. There is counterfeit money in the safe. We need you to get it out.
An extreme sense of urgency.
Yes.
And fear. Like, this is so bad. You've got to get it out now.
And to not let anybody know, which I suppose, I guess I get it. If you're in the moment, you may not be thinking clearly. If somebody's putting pressure on you and you weren't expecting a phone call like this. But the guy on the phone told the woman to go get money out of the safe that was counterfeit money and then go buy gift cards with it and then try to give the gift cards to the scammers. And it was something like $1,200 from the restaurant. And then they somehow managed to get the woman, to give $1,000 of her own money.
Oh.
And the way they did it is, and we have told this, we've told people this before, that when you sometimes get a phone call, some of these scammers are so sophisticated, they are able to recreate a phone number. So they're not calling from, say, your a parent's phone, but they can make it look like they are. And at one point, they must have done that with Steve's phone number.
Yes.
They must have called from Steve's number and made it look like it was him telling them, yeah, go ahead and do all of this.
Because that, to me, that was the first part I had heard. I had only heard that the scammer used her boss's number.
Yeah.
You know, the owner, Danny Eichenhorst's husband, that it was using the owner's number to tell her, you've got to get the money out of the register. So the whole fact that it was the FBI calling and then the scammer spoofing the owner's number, because to me, even if you wouldn't have fallen for the FBI number, like maybe you think this can't be real. But then I had my boss, Steve, call and say, Amy, no, our text, this is real. You need to do this, or call and say you need to do this. Wouldn't you then feel, oh, this must be real?
Well, yeah.
At least in the stress of the moment.
Because they can recreate voices now with artificial intelligence. We've played around with that. We know that it's very easy to do it. All they need is something like 5 to 10 seconds of your actual voice, and they can recreate something. So, you know, I've told people that I'm close to, like, you know, hey, we should have some kind of safe word here. You know, so just in case there's a weird request that you say, okay, what's the password so that you can be, and I wouldn't text it anywhere. I wouldn't write it down, like online.
Mhm.
I would just make sure you communicate it
Yeah.
in person to that person.
Mhm.
And, maybe you can have it written down somewhere. But this is, the initial thought is, how do you fall victim to this? Like, how it just sounds so obviously a scam. But in the moment, I suppose I could see, especially if you're fairly young, not really thinking. So, Danny Eichenhorst says she was called by one of her employees and was told that the caller on the phone kept giving the employee confusing directions. This is according to the Post-Dispatch story. He told her to switch from the restaurant's phone to her personal cell phone. He ordered her to pull money out of the safe, instructed her to install an app on the restaurant computer for verification purposes. Then he asked for the names of the restaurant owners, spoofed the phone number of Eichenhorst's husband, making it look like he was calling when in fact it was another number. They also sent a text, again, mimicking the husband's number with a message to open the safe.
Yeah.
And so roughly $1,200 of the restaurant's cash. She took that, went to a Walgreens to buy these gift cards they were asking for. Then she gave $1,000 of her own money.
Because they told her, oh, no, that didn't work.
Right.
And so that she used $1,000 of her own money.
Yeah. So, and the employee said she was mortified when she found out she had been scammed. And
it
I'm
wasn't-
sure that you would be.
Yeah. And again, in the stress of the moment, we don't think clearly. We've all made mistakes in the stress of the moment. And also, it's not like, oh, well, was this an older employee who wasn't tech savvy? This employee was mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
So a younger person that you would think might have at least some, maybe more tech awareness than someone who isn't. But yeah, it was a spyware app that was installed on the restaurant's computer.
Trying to get passwords.
And so, yeah, Danny Eichenhorst had seen that the scammers, through the spyware, had searched the computer, had looked for passwords, looked for other information. She immediately unplugged the computer, went to the police station, and reported the theft. But as the story notes, and as we've talked about so many times, so many of these scammers are overseas, and they're almost impossible to find.
That's the problem, is that they are probably very likely not based here. So it's a reminder to always be very suspicious.
Yeah.
And the FBI is not going to call you like that and then say, don't tell anybody else. That is not going to happen. And the moment they ask you to go buy gift cards to
Yeah.
give to them, absolutely not. Do not do that.
I know also
It is 100% a scam.
this is one that scammers will call parents with kids in college and have very, very specific information about your kid in college.
That's right.
And say they were, caught,
Arrested.
public indecency, urinating outside, which every parent might think, well, that might have happened if they urinated outside a bar or whatever. And say, listen, we don't want this to hurt their scholarship, or this is a student athlete. We don't want this to hurt them, which, by the way, like we said, these scammers will mimic the phone number of the university. So it looks real.
Yeah.
And a parent wakes up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my gosh, my kid was just arrested. The university wants to pay the bail, B-A-I-L, wants to pay the bail in order to keep it out of the system. Just let that person keep their scholarship. So give them the money over the phone. And they said, never, ever, ever do that. But they catch parents off guard in a very vulnerable state in the middle of the night. And and that probably is a pretty, it's not out of the question that a college kid might get caught public indecency using, peeing outside. And then you think, I don't want them to lose their scholarship.
And I'm not surprised that somebody younger who doesn't have the life experience yet and might be more intimidated by somebody who calls up claiming to be authority. I could see being nervous about that and thinking, oh gosh, I better do this because I could be in serious trouble. When you're in your mid-20s, you're still worried about being in trouble.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's older. And we have a texter who says anyone who actually buys the gift cards is a complete idiot. Well, older people get scammed. They're not idiots. They just don't, it may not have occurred to them, or they may not know. It doesn't mean they're stupid, but there are some really smart people who end up getting scammed and then feel terrified after the fact and, mortified like this girl said she was.
When you think of any time you've been emotional, literally the chemical response in our bodies that happens, it clouds our thinking. We've all made mistakes when we were emotional, whether we did something stupid, we forgot something, we said something we regretted. And I do think there's something to be said that if you are already stressed because you're at a rush hour time of a restaurant business, and then you have fear injected into you because it's the FBI, and then you have what seems to be the owner or the owner's husband calling you and texting you, sometimes weird things happen in your brain. Certain parts of your brain just shut down. And maybe that critical thinking part was overwhelmed by the emotions.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We welcome your phone calls and text messages and all of that, and your voice messages like we had earlier. You can do that from the Odyssey app. It is very, very easy to leave us a message. The Gas House Gang is coming up. That is happening at 12. Tom Ackerman will be in. We're going to talk some ball. We'll have Greg Amsinger on the show. We are going to have Claves. We are going to have Amy talking Blues hockey. Big show coming up at 12 on KMOX.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th. And you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We're just trying to lead up to the Gas House Gang, and we're glad you're part of our day today and glad to be part of yours. 314-436-7900. Always text in if you can. And this texter says that they've got some friends in their 70s, and those folks were scammed out of $64,000 almost the exact same way. Somebody called and said they're from the FBI and need to use them to catch someone. They're devastated, and these are two very smart, educated people. So, I mean, it can't. You're not necessarily an idiot because you have fallen for one of these scams. They can be sophisticated. They can sound convincing, and if they're putting fear into you, if they're using fear, then people will do rash things when they are afraid.
Yeah, like I said, your
getting in trouble or somebody they love going to jail or whatever it is.
Your body's chemical response to fear or panic really does cloud otherwise calm and calculated thinking or reasonable thinking. Hey, do you know how we talked about how the Winnipeg Jets and TSN had an issue with their broadcast, and then how with the Cardinals game, NESN had an issue with their broadcast? We did have a texter say that the Awful Announcing account said on Twitter that NESN switched to the MLB or Cardinals TV feed starting in the bottom of the first inning because the only view they had was the dugout view.
Got it. And here's another thing too. I believe we're going to talk about this in the next day or two because Wednesday is tax day and you need to get your stuff done. But they are telling people, the experts, and I believe the IRS also is telling people, do not use artificial intelligence to do your taxes because it doesn't quite grasp it. It apparently is a thing where people are trying to use AI. They're feeding all of their information and say, okay, do my taxes. Yeah, don't. It's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a thing that you should be aware of because AI seems like for people who use it a lot. I think it feels like a cure-all, like it just does everything. Yeah. It's better than Google because it gives you concise results. It seems convincing, and you can ask it anything, and it will spit out an answer. Anything, and so people are just thinking, well, I might as well just do my taxes with it. Yeah, do not do that. They're telling everybody, do not do that.
Hey, I know we don't have much time, but I did want to ask Matthew, who was at a wedding, and you said you saw a very unusual gift for the groomsmen.
That's right. I was at a wedding over the weekend, and at the rehearsal dinner before that, a few days ago before that, the groom gifted his groomsmen katanas, which are samurai swords. They are like those kind of long, thin, curved swords.
Yeah.
And they come together in the sheath. And so all the guys kind of put they held the swords above their heads and they unsheathed it like a samurai would in the movie. And they took a cool picture with it.
Does this person know something about katanas?
Yeah, do they make sense? Are they samurais?
No, there were no samurais at the wedding.
I don't think there are any samurais.
I think it was just a cool gift. I mean, I would totally put that on my mantle. I was jealous.
You know what? I had this buddy. Have I told you about this? I got this friend who he had a real, like a legit katana. It was a real sword, and he had a whole story behind where he got it. And this dude was into martial arts, and he was in the military. And years ago, it was hanging on, not hanging, but it was up on a shelf in his place. And he was like, I'll give that to you.
What?
I was like, really? And he said, yeah, but you have to let me. And apparently this is some sort of This is the tradition.
Okay.
If you give one of those swords to somebody else, they have to let you cut them with it.
Yeah, that's what okay.
I knew that was coming.
No.
And he said I have to cut you on the back. I have to slice your back.
Ew.
Like that's the tradition or something. That I can't you're not worthy of this sword unless I can cut you with it. And I said, I'm not gonna. And my other friend's like, just give him the damn sword. You're gonna cut him with it.
So did he give it to you?
No.
That's so weird. He probably does that to everybody and tries to get someone to let him.
Great guy though. He just wanted to cut me with his sword.
Like I'm picturing the Zorro, the Z.
I don't know. I think he just wanted. He's like, it's just a little cut, just a little slice.
No. What if it's rusty? You get tetanus.
Yeah.
And then get lockjaw.
I don't want lockjaw. Come on, that's crazy talk.
You are so close to being dead right now if you would let that happen.
Thank God I can't get scammed. I am unscammable.
Oh, now you've done it. Knock on wood.
Listen to the show. You missed it, you jerk. Go back and get it. It's on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can just listen to individual interviews or segments or the entire show, whatever you want. Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang. Greg Amsinger, Mike Claiborne, Amy Marks Kors, Tom Ackerman, and me with you next on KMOX.
Give me back my son.
Time now for today's Spotlight on